We're here at CES in Las Vegas covering all the new and exciting laptop tech. Today, I think we've got a good one for you. We're going to walk you through Asus's 2025 range of Republic of Gamers laptops. Yep, these are the ones with the new NVIDIA RTX 50 series. Heads up, this is a sponsored video, but we are genuinely excited about what's coming in the gaming space, and we thought many of you guys will be too. With that said, we're going to start by talking about the Strix series, which are Asus's high-performance gaming laptops. Then we'll talk about the Zephyrus range, Zephyrus, which are their more portable gaming laptops. And finally, we'll cover the updated Flow Z13 and the new external graphics module called the XG Mobile. The Strix Scar 16 and 18 are Asus's top-of-the-line performance laptops. These are fully redesigned this year with a new chassis, and they contain NVIDIA's most powerful RTX 50 series, including the RTX 5090 and 5080, running at a max TGP of 175 watts. Their processors are also updated to Intel's latest Core Ultra 9 275HX chips from their Arrow Lake range. The Strix Scars both have brand new chassis this year, as I said. They feature a new multi-LED design on the back of the lid, which Asus are calling the Anime Vision. To me, this looks similar to what we saw in the older M16. It also includes a 360-degree RGB light bar for those who want that kind of gamer look. But they aren't just offering aesthetic changes with this new chassis. They're also bringing you some handy functionality. For example, there is a latch for self-servicing this laptop. No screws required. From there, you can access the upgradable memory, 2 SSD storage slots, the 90-watt-hour battery, and the Wi-Fi 7 card. The specs out of the box are up to 2 TB of storage and up to 64 GB of memory, but as I said, these can be upgraded. The new chassis continues to include a 2.5 GB Ethernet port, but this time has 2 Thunderbolt 5 ports. Rounding out the ports, you get 3 USB-A 10 GB ports, an HDMI 2.1 port, and a headphone mic combo jack. Last but certainly not least, we are getting a high-resolution 2560 by 1600 mini LED 240Hz display, which features a new coating which is meant to reduce reflections and enhance contrast. Moving along, if you want a high-performance gaming laptop but you want something a bit more value-conscious, the Strix G16 and G18 non-Scar, they may be the right choice for you. The Intel versions use the same new chassis as the Strix Scar, minus the Anime Vision. So you'll get the same latch to access and upgrade its memory, storage, battery, and Wi-Fi. Ports are also the same. Other differences are that the Strix G16 and G18 with Intel max out at an NVIDIA RTX 5080 and they have IPS panels. Other than that, the specs are mostly the same. Intel Core Ultra 9 275HX processor, Wi-Fi 7, and they come out of the box with up to 2 TB of storage and up to 64 GB of memory. The GPU is again driven with a max 175-watt TGP. There is also an AMD version of the Strix G16 and G18. These use the older 2024 Strix chassis with a new laser-etched design on the lid. These come with up to 140-watt NVIDIA RTX 5070 Ti and AMD's newest fire-range processor, the Ryzen 9 9955HX3D. This AMD variant will come with up to 32 GB of memory, 1 TB of storage, and extra SSD slots supporting up to PCI Gen 5 and Wi-Fi 6E. It will also have a 2560 by 1600 IPS 240Hz display like the Intel variant. Onto the Zephyrus side of things. G14 fans, you'll be delighted to know that your favourite laptop is getting a big spec boost, and one of your biggest complaints is being resolved. The 2024 version you see maxed out at an RTX 4070, not so in 2025. There is actually going to be 2 versions of the G14, one with a slightly thicker chassis that includes either an RTX 5080 or 5070 Ti. If you get that version, you'll get it with a Zen 5 Ryzen 9 HX370 chip. The thinner G14 will max out at an RTX 5070. It will continue to have an older Zen 4 Hawkpoint processor, just as in 2024. These have been rebranded though as Ryzen AI 200 in line with AMD's new naming scheme. Regardless of which G14 you buy, specs will be up to 32 GB of soldered memory, 2 TB of storage, and Wi-Fi 7. Ports will include 2 USB-C ports, one is USB 4.0 and the other is 3.2 10 GB. You then get 2 USB-A 10 GB ports, an HDMI 2.1 port, and a headphone mic combo jack. The display will be a 3K OLED 120Hz panel, which is the same from 2024. Next up is the larger G16, whose AMD Zen 5 version actually won our best gaming laptop of the year last year. It's being refreshed with up to an NVIDIA RTX 5090 with 130-watt max TGP. It will be paired with either Intel's Core Ultra 9 285H Arrow Lake chip or an AMD Ryzen 7 Zen 5 Kraken Point processor. This will be region dependent. If you get the 5070 Ti, 5080 or 5090 versions, you'll get the vapor chamber cooling solution, just like last year. If you get it with an RTX 5070 or below, you'll just get regular air cooling. Specs will include up to 64GB of memory and 2TB of storage. There will also be an extra SSD slot. SSD speeds are PCI 4. Ports are the same as the G14's ports that I just ran you through. The display appears to remain unchanged from last year, 2560 by 1600, 240Hz OLED panel. Next is the Flow Z13, which I think is one of the more interesting laptops coming out in 2025, if you can even call it a laptop. It is essentially a gaming tablet. It was launched in 2023, but I never ended up reviewing it as I just didn't have the bandwidth. However, it has been on my radar, given how unique it is and how many of you guys have actually requested I review it. In 2025, it's getting quite a few updates. The one I'm most interested in is the inclusion of AMD's brand new Strix Halo APU. It's called the Ryzen AI Max Plus 395. Who names these things, seriously? Anyway, this is essentially a Zen 5 CPU combined with very powerful RDNA 3.5 integrated graphics. No need for a separate dedicated GPU. There is a lot I like about this approach. I personally feel that it expands the market for such a device from just gamers. For example, data scientists, you guys may be very interested in a laptop with such a processor. Model training requires a powerful GPU and lots of memory. This gives you both. Its APU can share up to 75% of its memory with its GPU, and it comes with 32GB of RAM, so 24GB is available to the GPU. Other than the change in processor, the device is slightly thicker and heavier than the older model. Asus has informed us that this is due to an improved cooling solution and a larger 70Wh battery. The Flow Z13 comes with a 13.4-inch QHD panel that refreshes at 180Hz with a wide color gamut. The display uses Gorilla Glass and has touch and pen support with tilt. Its RGB keyboard is improved this year too. It has larger keycaps and a bigger trackpad. Also, props to its 1.7mm of key travel, which is actually very deep. Finally, it includes an improved webcam and rear camera. Lastly, is a device that I think a lot of laptop buyers are going to be super interested in, the ROG XG Mobile. This is an external graphics module. It is small, about the size of a Nintendo Wii Classic, and it contains a powerful NVIDIA 50 series dedicated GPU inside that connects via Thunderbolt 5. Previous generations of external graphics enclosures used Thunderbolt 3 or 4, both of which were capped at 40GB speeds. This was a factor resulting in performance degradation when compared to a standard GPU inside a laptop. So, I'm very interested in whether the increased speeds will bring this kind of setup closer to a laptop with an internal dedicated GPU. I don't expect it to be on par with those, as this kind of setup still requires data to be repackaged and transferred via Thunderbolt versus internal PCIe. Regardless, this should turn small portable laptops into gaming, ML, or content creation powerhouses. And FYI, what we've observed in the past is that this approach actually reduces a laptop's fan noise and heat, as you're essentially putting a major heat generating component outside the machine. Anyway, this is one of the first really interesting use cases for Thunderbolt 5, so I'm very keen to see how it performs, and personally, I wonder whether it will work with my MacBook Pro. Well, that's all we have for you. Get subscribed with the notification bell on, as we will have full reviews of all these laptops coming out in the next couple of months, and the XG Mobile. If at any time you're in the market to buy a laptop, head on over to our website at justjosh.tech. It is the hub for laptop buying. You'll see all the laptops that we recommend for various types of users, as well as where to go to get the best deals on them. Till next time, go do something awesome with your day, and we will catch you later.